In 2009, 2K released Borderlands to critical and commercial success. Since then, the team have produced 3 more main series titles, albeit Borderlands the pre-sequel was delegated to their Australian subsidiary. In each title, the gameplay and story aspects have progressively evolved and been tweaked, for better or for worse. Any title relating to Borderlands after the release of Borderlands 3 is going to have a superior story structure, simply because I'm not going to have to put up with those, has it been 30? Good, those fucking Calypso twins. So I'll give you a quick breakdown of how this playthrough review of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands will be structured, beginning with a quick overall impression of the game, before delving into the very beginning with the opening cinematic, character creation, and classes. We will then journey through the main story and side quests together, giving you my impressions on each quest, the main story as it unfolds, and the evolution of the gameplay and the core gameplay loop in relation to the rest of the game. My initial impressions were that I was playing Borderlands, but they replaced bullets with arrows. Still fired by guns, of course. This quickly evolves, however, and encounters go from looking like this to this, which still looks just like Borderlands, but the character progression to get there I found more enjoyable than in previous titles. And despite my disdain for the Diamond Horse, which we'll expand on later, I quickly found myself enjoying the whimsical, light-hearted nature of the storytelling, and the narration from the main cast was quite enjoyable to listen to throughout my playthrough. Wonderlands has a lower classification than previous titles, and what they do with that is extremely effective, showing that eloquence and humour will trump uncensored gratuitousness? I don't know why I put in words that I can't even say. Uncensored gratuitousness that was mainly used as shock value in other Borderlands titles that rarely landed post 2011. I think I'm just gonna keep that in. Although the storytelling still left a lot to be desired, it slips in the department of show not tell, but we'll expand upon that later, like the horse. Playing through the story and the introduction and the freedom of the overworld is truly an enjoyable experience, and don't even get me started on die collecting. Despite being terrible at it, I loved it. Although deviate slightly into the side content and quests, and you're thrown into a world of monotony of the same encounters using the same assets, over and over again, random generation in combat and loot leads to a feedback loop of constantly doing the same thing. Managing your inventory constantly, selling everything and only keeping a few key items, then you're thrust back into a random encounter that once again fills up your inventory with useless shit that you then have to go through, pick out a few key items, then sell everything else again. The monotony would be less egregious if you weren't forced constantly into these encounters in order to receive extremely valuable rewards that make the game more fun. It's a catch-22, you gotta go through the boring stuff constantly to incrementally make the game more fun in the encounters you're inevitably going to be thrust into. But that's enough negativity for now. It may not sound like it, but I very much did enjoy the game. With that, let's begin.
There is a world beyond the Borderlands. A world forged by wonder and ruled by fate. The battle between these powers has raged since the beginning. Evil and good. Villains and heroes. A vicious cycle, endlessly repeated. Wonder is the power of a cruel, unpredictable god. But fate, there's one alone who can wield fate. One alone whose story is in their own hands. The Fate Maker. That's you. Heavy, right? Fate Maker. Big responsibility. Honestly, I wouldn't even blame you if you just laid down in a puddle and gave up. But if not, if you try and prove yourself as Fate Maker, then heed the warning I give all heroes. Together you fight. Together you shall fall.
Ha! Critical hit! The undead fall beneath our blade! Blade-wise. We're coming for you, Dragon Lord.
Fools! Your party of heroes can't stop me. Already Wow, you guys got here fast.
Like you said, we're the heroes. I am Valentine, gallant adventurer. The scary, stabby one is Fred.
What about that one?
That's the newbie. It's their first adventure.
Oh, come on. Their figure isn't even fully painted.
Enough talk. We're here to stop you from taking the soul energy.
Fools! I've already absorbed all of the soul energy. I'm invincible!
Oh, man. Sorry, newbie. We missed the soul energy.
Castles will burn! Babies will cry! More than usual, my skeleton armies will wash over the land!
Looking bad. How do we win this?
We attack! Together!
Pathetic. Especially you, newbie. They don't make heroes like they used to. Time to die!
But then, just as the heroes lose hope, they hear
A neigh?
yeah, and also like a sparkly rainbow, which goes like quickle quack quack quack. It is Queen Buttstab, the most beautiful and perfectest ruler in all the land.
Hold on, what game are we playing here?
We're playing Bunkers and Badasses, baby! And I, Tiny Tina, am the Bunker Master. So what I say goes! And I say there's a magical diamond buying a corn named Butt Stallion who saves the day!
Oh, I was kind of hoping we would save the day.
You will, Valley Girl. I just gotta set the stakes. Now, let's table talk. Cue Dragon Lord!
But, Stallion, you may be the most beautifulest, perfectest ruler in all the land, but this time, I've won!
But Butt Stallion was wielding the coolest sword in the whole world. The Sword of Sword.
Oh, would you? I just made those skeletons. No! No! I curse you, Valentine! I curse you, Fred! And most of all, I curse you, newbie! Whatever your name is, I will return and finally rid this world of heroes!
And with that, the Dragon Lord was defeated. For now. Exposition complete! Who's ready to rickety roleplay?
Yeah, might as well. We're stranded here after that mountain totally jumped out at our ship.
Yeah, he crashed it. I'm in. I love bunkers and badasses. I've already got a level 40 character.
No. We are making all new characters. This is the newbie's first game, and I'm gonna make sure it's an adventure they'll never forget.
You ready, newbie?
Time for character sheets, baby!
Thanks for the introduction, Tina. And with that, we get to make our character and pick our class. We have Stabbermancer, who uses stealth to score high critical damage. The Clawbringer, who mainly specializes in elemental melee damage and has a wyvern pet. The Spellshot, who specializes in magic and high spell damage / elemental damage. We have the Spore Warden, who specializes in critical hit and status effect damage, probably, I didn't really check, and has a Mushroom Friend. And we also have the Berserker, who I forgot existed entirely. And last and probably least, we have the Grave Warden, who I picked because I need constant health regeneration, even if it's at the cost of my own health. The Grave Warden specializes in dark magic, leeching life from enemies and using its own HP to deal damage. I find the perfect preset that makes my character look gorgeous, pick the worst voice of all time, which I end up regretting, and we're off into the Wonderlands.
You have arrived in the Snoring Valley, an unassuming and peaceful corner of the that harbors.
The very first thing I do in-game is go and loot some chests, because just like everything in life, this game is all about money. We are then granted magical hearing and sight, so we conveniently know exactly where we have to go. We go through a quick tutorial section where we're taught how to run, jump, crouch, and pick up an axe, and then we get to bash some crabs.
Another waystone guides your path, but reaching it will mean going through a pack of nasty, pinchy crabs.
Yeah! Combat! Kill them all!
Ah, pinchy! They're so pinchy!
Excellent.
You have defeated the crabs! Luckily, they were carrying their life savings for some reason. All yours now!
We continue climbing mountains and bashing crabs until finally Tina gives us a gun. We make our way to our first proper combat section that's not just pressing R3. The first encounter isn't exactly difficult nor really exciting, and I am playing on insane difficulty. Insane difficulty means we just do 15% less damage, we take 15% more damage, but we get better loot. After the encounter with the skeletons, we are then blocked by some rubble, but luckily for us, the dungeon master happens to come through for us, and spawns some explosive barrels that we can then shoot, and we make our way through.
Ooh, the village is already ransacked and crawling with skilly men.
We're here to avenge the village!
We continue to kill skeletons in the village before being confronted by our first badass enemy, who are like normal enemies but stronger. We kill him, level up, get our action skill, and find a sweet die. For some reason the footage here is a little choppy, but it was only in this little part, so I just didn't bother with it.
Might as well save her peasant ass.
Thank you for saving my peasant ass, stranger. How can I ever repay you?
As much as it kills me to refuse payment, I'm afraid I'm on an urgent quest to prevent the return of the Dragon Lord.
You're a fate maker. I knew the Queen would send us a hero. The tomb is in the crypt below Castle Herefast. You must hurry before his minions find it.
The tomb is inside a crypt. The perfect hiding place.
May the Queen's favor see your noble quest.
After reviving the peasant, we make our way to the crypt. On my way to the crypt, I equip my action skill called Dire Sacrifice, which is a skill on a cooldown that sacrifices 40% of my health, but does 150% damage of the health I lose, infecting enemies around me with Dark Status Effect, which returns health to me from all those afflicted. I also level up my stats with hero points. There are 6 stat types in total. Strength, which increases the damage of critical hits. Dexterity, which is your critical hit chance. Intelligence, which is your spell cooldown rate. We will unlock spells soon. Wisdom, which is your status effect damage, so that's good for my dark magic. Constitution is your max HP / ward HP. Your ward is simply your shield, which we obtained in the first encounter. And Attunement, which affects your skill cooldown rate, which for me is Dark Sacrifice. We enter and make our way through the crypt before encountering our first boss. Tina can give the introduction.
Boss fight! I got a special figurine for this guy. 1 second. Rising before you is one of the Dragon Lord's most loyal undead soldiers. It's Rivula. Roll for initiative!
During our adventure through the catacombs, I picked up an ice spell. I've cut out most of the generic encounters, or this video would go for 20 hours. Spells in Wonderlands are basically the replacement for grenades from previous Borderlands titles, but act in a more unique way. I will elaborate on different spells throughout the video. This ice spell can hit up to 4 targets and does cryo damage, which slows my targets and has a chance to deal damage over time. Now, the reason we are fighting Ribula is because he's attempting to revive the Dragon Lord, who was vanquished by the Diamond Horse in the beginning. Hopefully, by killing him, we can prevent that from happening.
There's still time! You can seal the Dragon Lord away before he escapes!
I'm up to the last one.
Say! The Dragon Lord is free, suckers! Oi! Dragon Lord! Come and get it!
That's good. Yeah, not happening. Come on, the Fate Maker never beats the villain in the first quest. Still, you're stronger than the ones she sent before. I wonder. We'll meet again, Fate Maker. But for now, I have to go pay an old shiny friend a visit. See you around the neighborhood.
Damn it, he got away. We gotta track him down. I want that big bad boss kind of loot.
After defeating Ribula and releasing the Dragon Lord, we make our way into the wonderful Wonderlands for the first time.
I built you guys this big overworld on the table. Just move your miniature wherever you want to go on it.
Nice detailing on the landscape. Feels like there's a whole world just waiting for us to kill and loot it.
That's right! Welcome to my Wonderlands! A battle jumps out at you! Random encounter! Ha!
We can settle this peacefully if you just give me all.
After entering the overworld, we are introduced to our first random encounter, a sprite that shows up on the map, and if you connect, you must fight your way through a meaningless horde of enemies. After completing the random encounter in beautiful fashion, we go for a bit of a loot before popping into the portal. Tina then teaches us about shortcuts, and we take a little minute to listen to some exposition.
I put shortcuts around the overworld to help you get around. All you gotta do is punch him. Shortcut unlocked! There's all sorts of goodies and dungeons hidden behind things you can punch. Oh man, this is the best. I am so glad you guys are here to play games
I want that
and be
dog.
friends. It's just been me in this cave with the bunbows and like a mountain of marshmallow cereal for like ever.
Ah, Tina, have you been lonely?
What? No! You're lonely! I got friends! I got tons of friends! Look at all these hottie bun babes! This one, his name is Dimitri Papadopoulos, and these are his cousins from out of state!
And why are they ticking?
I'm so glad you asked because they are also bums.
Great! Nice to meet you, Dimitri.
We find a man named Backstab and learn about shrines. Shrines require 4 pieces to be found, and in return you get a permanent buff of some sort. It could be extra experience, higher loot luck, or more damage. although shrines also present one of the most glaring issues with the game. In order to obtain a shrine piece, you must complete multiple random encounters in succession. They present no alternative style of gameplay in order to obtain these pieces. Despite the reward from shrines, you feel deterred from obtaining the pieces due to knowing exactly what you're going to experience, and also left with the knowledge that you're going to have to go through this over and over again. To make this worse, they reuse assets and enemies that are in that area of the overworld. So if you have any other encounter or quest in that area, chances are the enemies you fight are going to be in a place you've already been. This trend continues throughout the entirety of the game, which makes you wonder how to best use your time. Should you do side quests that offer something more tangible and unique in storytelling, but often offer worse rewards, or are you going to delegate that time to doing multiple encounters in order to gain permanent buffs? Obviously you can do it all, but because of the way the game is constructed, you don't feel like there's enough to offer you to constantly be experiencing the same gameplay loop. There's some really cool and unique side quests worth experiencing, you just have no idea whether what you're about to experience will be enjoyable or a slog. Ironically, it's a real roll of the dice, and don't worry, I'll fill you in with my obsession about the die. After returning to Backstab and finding him stabbed in the back, we instantly go back into another set of random encounters to obtain the last shrine piece. We then return to the shrine and receive our permanent buff, which gives us 10% more gold from pickups for the rest of the game. We make our way to the capital of the overworld, Brighthoof, but find it besieged by skeletons thanks to the Dragon Lord. We battle our way through, blow up some catapults with, Fantasy C4. We also met Paladin Mike a little bit ago, but I chose not to mention them, well, because no real reason, governor.
But I met this cool nerdy barista on the EchoNet, and they said I could use their B&B character if I wanted, and I was like, hell yeah! And they were like, chocolate, governor! And I was like, ooh, I'm stealing that accent too!
We then liberate Brighthoof, and are delegated the quest by Diamond Horse to retrieve the Sword of Souls in order for us to once again seal away the the Dragon Lord.
Yes, I did, and it was in honor of the Queen.
Yeah. We then make our way to Shadowgrave Barrow in order to retrieve the Sword of Souls. We then meet a character called Zomboss, or the Zombitch, who just doesn't shut the fuck up about being possessive and saying she's gonna get my sword. Apparently fantasy equates mainly to skeletons and dragons. Ironically, Borderlands is kind of more fantastical with its array of weird and diverse creatures.
This time, kill her so hard she doesn't get back up.
We then make our way through yet more catacombs in order to fight the Zombitch who's hoarding our damn sword. I'll now take the time to explain about weaknesses and resistances relating to the player and the enemy. There are 5 elemental damage types: fire, poison, shock, frost, and dark. The yellow bar above Zomboss's head represents armor. Armor is weak against poison damage. Red bars represent health and are weak against fire damage. The blue bars represent the shield or ward and are weak against shock damage. The grey bar represents undead and are weak against cryo damage. And dark magic siphons enemies' health, returning it back to you. Then there's neutral damage, which isn't particularly strong or weak against anything. You'll see me using a variety of different elements for different situations throughout the playthrough, effectively and ineffectively. We finally kill the Zombitch and opt to trap her in the Sword of Souls to shut her up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little unimpressed so far. The horde of skeletons and the boss fights have already become repetitive. Skeletons through 2 catacombs, then a skeleton boss fight at the end, not to mention the skeletons in the Siege of Brighthoof. But now we have the Sword of Souls, we head back to Brighthoof with the power to defeat the DL. Second you chav. Nothing against
As you place
chavs,
the
but...
sword into the fountain, soul energy swirls through it and out in the city!
I think she's meant to be a bloody Aussie, but you know, it doesn't really come across that way.
All the fires are extinguished! The houses get put back together! The crowds are cheering for you!
I love me.
We then have to go through another small tutorial section after returning the Sword of Soul. First we go and introduce ourselves to the blacksmith. At this point in the game, all the blacksmith offers is capacity upgrades for your weapons, your satchel, lost loot and your bank. I never use the bank personally in this game. The use of the bank is mainly for people wanting to complete multiple playthroughs, and all their gear is accessible for all characters, which is nice. I opt to spend most of my money on satchel upgrades so I can hoard more loot to sell, which ultimately ends up with me spending a lot more time in shops, but I have to manage my inventory less often to pick and choose which items I'm going to use, sell or throw away for something else. Which brings me to the classic Borderlands issue of there's too much crap at this point. You spend most of your playthrough using one weapon as your main, switching to others for specific circumstances, despite having 4 weapons at your disposal. It's very much quantity over quality, and I know there's specific gear for specific classes to create specific builds for the more dedicated players who like to do post-game and New Game Plus. However, it doesn't feel like there's even enough to offer the dedicated OG players enough to come back and build these ultimate characters. Gold just feels like a currency to mainly increase my ammo and carrying capacity. Sometimes you'll come across an item worth buying, but usually you'll find something better just around the corner. I spent most of my playthrough using sticky grenades fired from my pistol because the bonus damage regardless of defense would melt enemies with almost no effort. When that sticky grenade pistol became underleveled, I already had another one in my inventory ready to go. I'm playing on insane difficulty and I'm mediocre at this game at best, and it's ridiculously easy. You shouldn't have to finish the game to proceed to the actual challenge, which is playing through the game with more difficult levels and enemies. Stop hiding your assets behind New Game Plus and other weird functions and give us everything in one playthrough if it's what we desire. Give me Total War. We then make our way to Izzy's Fizzies, which is where we can customize our character's aesthetics and statues. I don't really care for the dress-up game, I like my grey getup, but I'm sure it's enjoyable if you take the time. I do, however, make my statue look graceful, as is befitting of my character.
Hero of Brighthoof, for your bravery defending the city, Her Majesty Queen Buttstallion is naming you a Knight of the Realm.
Good. Fucking hate horse though.
Kneel and be knighted.
Oh, thank God it's my hero.
Not so fast, newbie.
I'm pretty good at the game.
This
Chuck
is
around
my
silly like that.
world now.
Yes, thank God. Kill the fucking horse. I mean, no. Hope.
No!
Yeah, get wrecked, Chav.
I'm done being told how my story goes. Your master's age of heroes is over, and soon her whole world will follow. Ha ha ha!
I can't believe it. The Queen is dead!
Good.
Buttstallion! No!
It's about time.
Tina, what the hell?
I don't know, man. That wasn't supposed to happen. Just let me think for a second.
Oh, she really thought she could run you through the same old hero's journey as always. Well, not this time. I'm in control now.
The Fate Maker is lost. What once felt so sure is now fragile and broken. Still, one truth remains standing amidst the wreckage. The forces of evil must be stopped.
Okay, so,
What?
great, big, booming sound rings out.
work
Let's
is
get
not done yet.
docking then.
She left me with all her glittering heart. I miss her so much.
Honor for what you've done, and what must come next. Kneel, Fate Maker. Or just crouch if your knees hurt.
I did it. Oh, I'm back
As
up.
Regent Defender of Brighthoof, I name thee
Sweet.
Squire of the Realm.
Cut the shit out of me.
Liar! Man, that's some dragon dookie.
After seeing Diamond Horse beheaded by the Dragon Lord, we are sent to the docks to become a squire and build a ship. Despite finding the gameplay mediocre at this point, I'm left with intrigue as to the Dragon Lord's part in the story and Tina's control as Bunker Master. Why can she not control the Dragon Lord, and why is he so mad at Tina? I have my theories that he's tired of playing the bad guy, and forcing someone to always be evil is in fact an evil act itself. But hey, that's just a theory. Fuck MatPat, you smug fuck. Anyway, moving on. We kneel at the docks and become a squire thanks to Powdog Mike. We then construct the ship and set sail without the blessing of a bard despite being urged to find one and be blessed. My lack of blessing results in my death, so I guess we gonna have to find a bard.
You see a craftsman looking perturbed, which is like disturbed, but perverted.
No, it's not.
Oh, one a bit?
Hot dog am I perturbed. Hope you weren't planning to cross this here tributary, hero. I was gonna fix this magical bridge, but some ne'er-do-wells have print-napped my magical building recipes and run off to their dismal cave. Get them back for me, will ya? Enjoy the bone.
Some ne'er-do-wells.
This is for sure where the craftsman's blueprints went. It's not female, Randy.
After finding the blueprints for the craftsman in yet another generic encounter, we return them to him so that the perturbed man may construct a bridge for us, to which we are very thankful. I decide to go off the beaten path and do some side questing for some goblins, because I'm a nice guy like that. We go to Mount Craw and find a goblin named Jar, who is just the fucking worst. Here with what I've got.
Adventurer, have you come to join our righteous cause?
Yes.
We are the goblins, hired of forced oppression, freedom fighters, one and all! Though I am glad you showed up, because I'm pretty sure I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag.
If this is a paying gig, I'm in.
Oh, there'll be coin in it for you. But first, we must shatter the chains of oppression, fight for glorious goblin freedom, and rebuke the tyranny of Dragon God Volcano.
I like the
Sorry,
Dragon God.
did you just say Dragon God?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm mostly totally sure he's a false god. Now come along. It's time to free my goblin brothers and sisters. The
There's everything in this game. So I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon, that's true.
He is a cruel
I hate the
master,
fucking
demanding tribute
little
from our
green
enslaved
thing.
people once a week. If he is displeased by the offering, his punishment is harsh. We must put a stop to it once and for all.
Yeah.
And with your help, I might finally earn my GTF on ring.
The acronyms, they're not good, no.
It's a badge of honor representing full membership in the GTFO. Doubted my
Flying dog.
abilities, but we'll show them. And now the entrance is involved.
Mysteries of the seemingly impenetrable barrier are revealed to you. What you gonna do?
Follow the ley lines, obviously.
Thanks.
I'll stay here and keep an
I
eye
guess.
on the barrier.
To move?
Oh,
I did that
whatever
originally.
you just did, the barrier is weakened. Oh, do it again.
Not to be a jerk or nothing, but I never seen goblins build something as complex as that thing.
Well, that's just hurtful. The barrier is down! Now's your chance! Get back here! Let's do this!
Let's do it.
Calamitous force! Hey! Feels so good.
Okay. Now for the next phase of Operation Green Green. I stacked some GTFO posters on a flash nearby when I was chased out of the mountain. Go get 'em!
We kill the Oracle, we retrieve the posters for Jar, then she goes missing and we find her.
Time for a spell.
Then once again we have to kill another 2 Oracles. We get an axe for Jar so she can fight, and she gives a speech to a bunch of other goblins. Then we are on our way to free political goblin prisoners from the oppression of Volcano.
You did it! And the prisoners are finally safe back in their dank pit. Oh, how I miss my
Got pop.
dank pit. But there's still more to be done.
I do a quick bit of retail therapy, or in this case the opposite of therapy, some retail trauma? We then get more quest objectives to pad out this already drawn out side quest and disable all the machines to get close to Volcano. We then get some explosives from Goblin Sappers, for some reason.
We'll gherkin of a pickle again. I spotted Please, but he's also spotted me. And now he's definitely trying to kill me. Oh, please help!
I then have to fight Freezicles, which was honestly probably the most difficult boss in the game for me. I died twice before killing the Frosty boy. Done.
Magic time!
We then start making our way to the arena and find a gorgeous die along the way. Basically, this game has a function called loot luck, and each die you collect increases that loot luck, making it more likely to get better rewards from drops. In the arena, I have to kill another 2 Oracles, which was a bit of a challenge, but we get it done. We then find Jar, again, and make our way into the arena to fight Volcano. Volcano was easier than the Oracles and Freezicles leading up to him. We take all his armor health down, then it takes me a bit to figure out I have to put a bomb in his head and pop it. Then we fight his second phase, which is also really easy. The whole fight mainly consists of dodging fire patterns along the ground. We kill Volcano and get terrible rewards for our effort. It's actually done next time. And I got fuck off. Alright.
On behalf of Goblin kind, I must thank you, champion. We will forever be in your debt.
That's right.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must inform the GTFO leadership of our victory. There is much to do.
Alright, well that was very underwhelming. And there, we've liberated the Goblins, which I deeply regret because they're fucking gross and Jar's voice is like venom.
Then ghost. Soul energy weighs heavily. You have reached the depths. No shame in losing at the best. I love you.
We enter the Weeping Wilds in order to find the bard to bless our ship, Tina noting that it's dank. We have to fight our way through some shrooms, a little bit of combat for you, before making our way to the bard, where Tina can give the introduction.
Half bard, half barbarian. 1,000% explosion! It's dark! Yeah, he's a little distracted at the moment. You'll have...
For you!
I need to get across the ocean and put my boat up the Dragon Lord's rear. You only dealt with the first part.
I love two things in this world. Rat, quest, and huge explosions! And respecting all living beings, irrespective of my own underlying cultural biases. 3 things! I can't do anything right since my magic loot stopped working!
So we have to get Torque's loot working, and to do that we have to power it up with multiple crystals and kill thorn guards. A lot of them.
It's supposed to be a warning shot.
We just keep making our way through multiple hordes of enemies at multiple different crystals, blasting our way through.
So many of these things.
After we kill all the thorn guards, Tina gives us another introduction to this area's boss, who we have to kill to stop the heart of the forest from being corrupted. She also killed Torque's best friend, but fuck Torque, honestly.
Behold the horrid visage of the Banshee!
Whoa, the Banshee. This early? Watch out.
The Banshee's mostly another floor pattern boss, except this time you have to jump or duck certain attacks. We make quick work of her. Pew pew!
Taste of my pain!
Yeah. Still dying.
Hey, the Banshee's cries are silenced. Very good.
Impressive. I've seen the Banshee mop the floor with high-level characters. Between you and me, we have a thing. But then she left me the maelstrom of endless insanity, which, you know, I mean, good for her, guy's a hunk. No! The heart of the forest is already corrupted! You evil! You took away my magic and my best friend! I'll never rip again!
Hey! Someone out there! Let me out!
The muffled voice seems to be coming from a caged crystal, hanging before the corrupted heart.
Get me out of here! Oh, hell yeah!
Barry Punchfather, you're alive!
Thanks to your badass riffs, you truly are a barbarian. And you, I know you. Come in.
You know me?
Well, we haven't really met, but I'm the Fairy Punchfather. As long as magic's been around, I've been here to protect it, mostly by punching. I've seen enough heroes in my time to know when I've been saved by one.
Can you fix this magic loop? He needs to bless our ship.
Can I? Ah! I'm the one he wanted from in the first place. Watch this. Zippy, zappy, pussy, magoo!
Yeah! Is my loot in full power now?
Damn straight. Give it a pluck.
Tweet, tweet,
I hate Torque and Punchfather. We then return to Brighthoof to watch the bard bless our ship, which is actually far more interesting than I anticipated. I enjoy the tidal wave and the fishies.
The nefarious ocean has been defeated. Our well-thought-out, character-rich story continues!
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Never liked the thing much anyway. Oh, I will miss seafood though, yeah.
Alas, the good ship Balzania has sailed her last. Rest in pieces, my sweet maiden. Rest in pieces.
I thought I'd seen the worst from her, but a whole ocean destroyed just to get her story back on track. And you strummed along, happy to play your little game.
Getting a real contains a shrine piece vibe from that dungeon.
I find a poetry page and obtain a shrine piece before moving on to a bean side quest. So basically, because we destroyed the ocean, this bean has been left out to bake in the sun, and it's our duty to find him a new place to reside. We flick the bean into the town, and it turns out he's a bit of a dick, and destroys everything, but that's pretty good for us, cause now we can get in. I enter Tangle Growth and make my way through the stalks. Unfortunately for me, we meet the Fairy Punch Father again. He wants us to help save the village we just helped destroy. Talk about dissonance. So we meet up with him up ahead and find my favourite thing about this level, which is the slides, which later kill me, but we'll get there when we get there. We make our way to the town, killing more skeletons and other trash mobs along the way. So the Punch Father is feeling some evil vibes and we have to follow him. We investigate the beanstalk, so Punch Father can purify the flowers in order for us to access the parasite and fix the mess I've caused. We find a gorgeous dye along the way. Now we have to investigate the lighthouse and kill more mushroomy trash mobs. I don't know why I expect more, but so far this side quest has been pretty underwhelming. It's just go here, investigate this place, purify it, investigate the next place, purify it, and so on and so forth until we get to the boss. There's no interesting dialogue or characters or anything. It's just do something you don't really care about, probably for shitty rewards. At least we get XP and money, I guess. I use the Punch Father to purify another flower. Then we have to kill some sub-boss called the Bitter Bloom. I do like killing mushrooms for some reason. My attitude towards them in reality, however, is neutral. I then have to investigate and clear the cathedral of yet more enemies. Hopefully gonna beat the boss soon, or find some more slides, either or. I like Fred and I like Valentine. I enjoy them narrating. However, their place in the game as characters is missing, I have noted. Instead I'm stuck with the punch-drunk millionaire, or whatever the fuck. We then have to defend Punch Father and kill another sub-boss called the Spiteful Bloom, which I can appreciate because I kind of feel like that's me right now. I think I'm just kind of writing this script in a bad mood, and I think my bad mood is because of the Punch Father, to be honest, so we're back with the old Catch-22. Give up, video over, too emotional. Why didn't I choose to review a good game? Now we're investigating a flippin' castle. Woo! The joy continues. I do kind of like the architecture and the Grapes of Wrath around the place, which I can appreciate because I kind of feel like I'm a Grape of Wrath. Okay, I'll stop. They're just vines. I like the castle and the vines. So after we investigate the castle, my objective has become more unique, which I can appreciate. Now my objective is to defeat enemies. Wacko! How original. I then go on my way to the parasite's lair, and I'm delighted that I get to take a slide. Although, as I mentioned before, I am mediocre at this game, at best. So after I finally get past the most difficult part of the level for myself, personally, I make it to the parasite's lair. Down another slide, I might add. I fight the flying mushroom with my beautiful sticky grenade pistol. I knock off its ward, which knocks it to the ground. Then I empty his health bar, which knocks off his little hat, which I enjoy. I kill the parasite and go for a little bit of a loot, then return to town where Punchfather is glad the beanstalk is safe, and also the people. I still don't really know what's going on during this whole debacle, but I'm glad it's over, and I can leave. Armor in Wonderlands can grant class, skill, and stat bonuses. Because of multi-classing, some armor increases skills for multiple classes. Rings can basically just give a variety of different buffs, ranging from action skill cooldown to more ammo. Amulets increase your class power for a certain class. In my case, I want an amulet that boosts Grave Warden power. They can also grant bonus effects like instant reload or health regen. After completing Tangle Growth, we go and meet an alchemist whose help we employ in order to get through kelp guarding our way. However, their solution turns the kelp into stone, so we have to go and find the essence of pure snot. We go off and collect a couple shrine pieces, and we need to find one more piece for the purple shrine. After our character travels to the cave, collects the essence of pure snot, we're into Wartooth Shallows, where we meet a crew of skeletons we must challenge to a fight, yet we have to find a way to disable their plot armor.
Put your tubes up.
Yeah.
Hear that, lads? The hero wants to fight!
We knock the non-alcoholic grog from the pirate's hand and start a duel of disses. I'm going to admit I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to preview the diss before selecting it, but Valentine's insult seems to get the job done.
Okay, so how do we get this guy to fight?
Easy. Pirate Rule 27B. Spilled grog must be avenged. Break his
What's with
mug.
the no alcohol in this game? Is that like a classification thing somewhere?
But we tried all day in the same silly way, watching grog go spilling down.
We knock the non-alcoholic grog from the pirate's hand and start a duel of disses. I'm going to admit I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to preview the diss before selecting it, but Valentine's insult seems to get the job done.
Of course I am. Haven't you been paying attention?
God, I
Why
hate my
should
gun.
I bet you fight like a dairy farmer.
Wait, why are we gasping?
Because you've just been challenged to a duel of disses.
It's the pirate way. Now we gotta hit him with the cutness, meanness, wake up in a cold sweat 20 years later his comeback, or we lose the duel. We're gonna need options.
Your mum should have thrown you away and kept the stalk.
No one talks about Deborah first mate like that! You're getting killed, Hall!
Good.
No shame in losing at the best.
Alright, ow!
Thought I'd get a chance to like actually read what they would be, but just went for it.
Oh, Danny first mate! Just 'cause it doesn't kill you don't mean it don't hurt! Now rejoin me crew and help us take down Chartreuse LeChance! Huzzah! Only a few crew left to fight, and I know just where they'll be. Ollie, chart a course for Plunder Port! Plunder Port! Plunder Port!
God damn it.
We then make our way to Plunder Port and meet the Swabby, which is the best rank a pirate can achieve. We pop their balloon and start a fight, and beat them in stylish fashion.
And she's brought us new recruits. Come sail the open air with the mighty pirate LeChance in the new airship Windbreaker. All men wanted.
Oh, sorry. Already part of a crew. Bones 3 would. Just a name drop.
Bones 3
God
would.
Rush 3
It's
would.
thanks to him me and Cobby here look like this. We won't be joining ye. LeChance is our captain now, so you'd best be on your way. Cobby, back to the song.
Oh, what will we do?
They've thrown in with LeChance? Mutinous sea dogs! Crew, goad them into a fight!
Pirate Rule 81D. If a balloon be popped, the popper must be dropped.
Aw, look at you, reading.
That's good.
Who cares about some stupid toy balloons?
'Tis a dire day when the pirate rules be ignored. We need to be getting their attention for real. Pop the Windbreaker's balloon!
I keep skipping steps. I want to skip it. Can you get far enough?
Down to the dry depths with ye!
Oh, they blew up Lachance's ship!
My best breeches were on there! New recruits! Show these mean-elbowed timber shiverers what your beds are made of!
Get out here and earn your keep!
Trust me, friend. You don't want to stick around.
Copy! Stay back! I'll teach these gutless cobble kissers a lesson!
No, swap me.
It's crew versus crew! Children, I said!
Yeah, make me bash.
This hurts you more than it hurts me. Probably not much more.
Enough, you pox-picking chest chiseler! Before someone gets really hurt, we'll join back up with Three Woods' crew.
I have me crew back! Now for our ship! She be the finest wooden woman to ever ride the buttery sea! Polly, find us the wreck of the Marley Maiden!
Find the maiden! Find the maiden!
We've gotten to know each other pretty well in the last few minutes. So here be the tale of woe that brought me down to the depths of what used to be the ocean.
Hell yes. Pirate backstory.
Great, I'm just gonna tune out for a minute.
I was the fiercest pirate captain on the buttery seas. I had a fine ship, a loyal crew, and true love. But I lost it all.
Wait, that's
Me
it?
too.
You didn't even explain the curse.
Oh, so me pirate backstory be insufficient for ye. Never mind then, ye scurvy cur.
Ha! See? She's got nothing. She always forgets to drop character voice when she's
Moving onwards, we find the ship the Marley Maiden for Guybrush Threepwood.
loud. Look, Polly, the whole gang be back together, plank and all.
Bloods Threepwood! How dare you show your lying faces around here?
My Charlie,
You don't get to call me that anymore. No matter. While you've been away, I've built a new crew. Loyal. Not that your salty heart knows the meaning of the word.
The Marley Maiden's still mine, Charlie. Crew, prepare to board. Kill those scallywags. Use the vents and board the Maiden.
We then have to defeat LeChance into submission and take back the Marley Maiden. We also repair it. There's another sub-boss fight, just because.
Those on, eh?
You'll have stashed our flag below decks, crew. Find it.
After finishing repairing the ship with the bonehead shark, we listen to a bit of Threepwood's exposition and move on.
Lady can look. Over here, we'll raise the Marley Maiden back to fighting ship. A ship's got a soul as much as any man, and I've been practicing my decrement. Time to get these wooden bones dancing again. Crew, a tune if you will.
Once sparks disappear.
Raise the bones! Raise the bones!
Slickest clipper boats can find. Oh, way ho, all hands on deck. She's the Marley Maiden cutting through our brine. Batten down the hatch and rubbing down roughnecks. ship, we can finally get back what was lost. Time to confront LeChance. Follow Polly. She'll lead ye to his ship, the Tempest. Score! Set sail!
Say, that chartreuse bloke called you Blood's free one back there. What aren't you telling us?
Ye deserve the whole truth. And there's only one way to properly deliver a pirate backstory. A tunnel full of music and elaborately staged vignettes. Places, everyone!
God damn it.
We're told to travel into a tunnel where we are subjected to an awful pirate song, which I can appreciate forcing on the player. The only improvement I would have made is make it about 15 minutes longer, making the player wonder if this nightmare will ever end. But I'm mostly a sadist. Mostly.
He true the skeleton man, his song
Die?
across the sands one day. Tempest Scourge be not far. Follow Polly, crew. We're off to set things right.
For some reason we have to fight LeChance's crew again, but finally we free the pirates and are also free of the pirates. So it's a win-win.
Come to plunge another dagger in my back, Blood's 3-Wood! Blood's 3-Wood is dead, LeChance, stripped to the bone. I'm Bones 3-Wood now, you treacherous, villainous hunk of a man.
I'll never forgive you for turning us into skeletons. You played with fate and broke my heart. Avast!
So be it! Avast!
Before I send you back to the Northern Gate, I'll send your crew to the depths of hell!
Calamitous force! Can't do it! Magic time! Suffer!
Victory!
I need hardwood.
Just be honest and share your
I
feelings.
don't know.
You're a stubborn sea dog, and I love that about you. Now hear me out. Chartreuse LeChance, I be sorry. I should have asked you before I cursed us all to undead. I was so afraid of losing ye that I wasn't thinking straight.
You've never thought straight a moment in your life or unlife. But thank you.
I can't lift this curse of ours, but I can spend the rest of our deaths making it up to ye. All I need is a LeChance.
Damn your pirate wiles, 3-Wood. Me heart be always yours. I accept.
Sorry, crew. No room for the living on this vessel. But I reckon this won't be the last we see of each other. After all, you're the Fate Maker, and fate brings us together.
You'll find the key to the Nerpent Gate in my hidden booty room. You're welcome to plunder it. I found all the treasure I need.
Take care of Polly, crew! Avast!
True love saves the day, la-dee-blah. You really bought into this Fate Maker crap, haven't you? Well, her little creed is a lie, and she knows it. We all end up alone in the dark.
Hey, Fred, we're getting all the loot. Aren't you glad we did the pirate quest?
Their love was stronger than death, and nothing could keep them apart.
Are you crying over fictional characters? I didn't know that was possible on, like, several levels.
You tell anyone, and I'm putting eggs included in your breakfast cereal.
Brett, you may literally have a cold metal shell, but somewhere deep inside you there's a soft center. You're like an emotional soup can without a label. Who knows what kind of gooey goodness is in there?
Well, that fixed me. I'm back to hating people.
The gate is open! You have made it through the uppermost level of the seafloor, but now, the darkest abyss lies ahead of you.
We then spend a bit of time travelling the overworld. The more of the story you unlock, the more shortcuts and mechanisms are at your disposal, so you can traverse everything far quicker. It felt a little tedious at times, but that's mainly because I'm geographically stunted. I couldn't even tell you what street I live on.
Oh, sweet, look, shrine piece. How'd that get there? Did little Tina put it there?
We go collect a blue shrine piece, which is worthless to me because it's the only shrine I didn't complete in the game.
My glasses! I can see again! Of course, I only need the one lens to read the other player's cards. I'll craft the other into a monocular telescope for you. There, that will let you see the coils.
Moving on, we meet Margravine, who has lost her glasses. After retrieving them for her, she gives us an item allowing us to see hidden bridges around the map. I spend a bit of time collecting die and shrine pieces.
Cannot afford.
After moving through a tunnel with some snake ladies in there, we arrive in a desert, which is the final area of the overworld, and we make our way forward toward completing the final quest.
You can't be serious. This is my competition.
I'm a talking skeleton! You're so scared!
We then meet the Elder, who urges us to reach the Hall of Heroes, which he himself failed to do because he sucks. It's so that we may bring back Diamond Horse, and perhaps defeat the Dragon Lord. Of course, before any of that can happen, we have to go through trials and tribulations.
I am quite powerful. In fact, I'm on my way to give the Dragon Lord a taste of my boot.
Then your path is through the Hall of Heroes. I know it well, though I was too weak to reach it. Come, this way. When I heard of the Queen's death, I journeyed here, hoping the latent soul energy of this city would allow me to bring her back. Perhaps you can succeed where I failed. Illusion magic. The only reason I wasn't picked off by skeleton patrols. You must reach the Hall of Heroes beyond the inner wall. The Dragon Lord is using the wells of sin to keep it blocked off. If you can cleanse the wells, you will lift the X's.
Only by cleansing the wells of sin. Can you take down the barrier hexes blocking your way?
Did you hear what that old guy said? We can bring back Butt Stallion.
I don't know. She met a pretty grisly fate.
But you forget, dear friend. Fate does not divide us. Fate brings us together.
How is it gonna bring her head and her body back together?
I haven't thought that through yet.
You're feeling luckier.
Die, sweet die. Righty then. More encounters. I'll press it.
Green-eyed soul rays pour from the well of envy. They want your souls.
Our job is to cleanse 2 wells. First, we successfully clear the well of envy.
Ready to cast.
Next, the well of greed, which poses no challenge.
Banished from the mortal realm, the well of greed is cleansed. Only one soul well remains. The well of wrath. Enraged soul rays thunder out of the well of wrath to tear you butt to jaw.
Cool.
This'll be fun.
Finally, we have to kill some wraithy wraiths and listen to a little exposition.
The well of wrath is cleansed, revealing the way forward.
Yeah, I think I'm done with these hexes now.
I just want to get to the boss.
We're then thrust into yet another flipping catacomb. Fuck. Through our journey in the catacombs, we take some time to learn more about the Dragon Lord as he rambles on.
I can create all sorts of new nightmares. This city was built by a civilization of advanced sorcerers named the Vatu. I've launched an eon of dark campaigns from here, but it was dead long before I arrived. The Vatu understood what soul energy was. They designed the city itself to siphon it out of the world. They used it to rule like arrogant gods at the expense of everyone else. Actually, a pretty good gig if you get it. I'll skip the rest of the exposition since you know where it's going. The Vatu and their souls were absorbed by the very arcane mechanisms they created. Classic. Just goes to show, no one stays the master forever.
Alright, that was awful.
RNG got nothing on you.
Take these creations of mine. They exist only to do my bidding. And when they fail, I'll just make 100 more. Because they're disposable. Like you. She wants you to think you're special, unique, one of a kind. Do you even have a name, Fate Maker? Has anyone ever said it? Has she? Yeah. Didn't think so.
Light strike! You rise from the sand-choked catacombs, following the twisted cables of the ancient Vatu soul-eating mechanisms.
Okay, newbie. To the Hall of Heroes!
Spread out, see? An enormous arcane device has been erected before the hexed entrance to the Hall of Heroes. It's got a fancy name with a lot of syllables, but basically, it's a giant sweet-ass magic laser that you can use to blow open the barrier heads.
This speaks to me.
Before we can get into the Hall of Heroes, we must charge an ancient arcane device to unleash the sweet Gumbari Bimu. Don't dwell on what I just
The
said.
biggest super-duper dispel ever cast!
Then we're gonna need some super-duper dispel runes.
And you shall find them to the imps and wibbles of the laser.
We charge it by pressing 2 runes, then go and press the activation button so we can get through the big door.
Hope it's super duper charged.
Hit the activation rune. Let's fire this thing.
Abra. Zapoga blast! When the dust clears, the entrance to the Hall of Heroes finally stands open before you. Hey, I just want to say that I love you guys, and I'm having a great time playing with you.
Aw, Tina, so are we.
So, don't hate me?
After defeating the door, we finally make our way into the Hall of Heroes. Tina? Introductions?
Where all the greatest legends of the Wonderlands are laid to rest.
Well, not all of them. What's that they say? No rest for the wicked.
Funny
Here,
callback.
a familiar whinny, and for a moment, you feel hope. It's like a dream. But this is not your queen. It's a nightmare.
My queen! How could you corrupt something so good and pure? I care about nature!
I've been crying for a fight.
My spell is ready.
We fight the Nightmare, who has 3 stages: armor, bones, then shield. I found it a little SSX tricky, but once again, we get it done. A reward is some exposition on Tina and the DL.
The monstrosity shudders and dies, as though with relief.
Apologies, Your Majesty.
This is messed up.
What? Don't blame me! Blame the Dragon Lord!
Oh, yeah, sure, blame me. It could never be her that twists good things into monsters. It could never be her fault. Only I know better. Let me show you.
My foot bone's gonna connect with your...
Those scrolls weren't prophecies. I wanted to show you what she did to me. What she's doing to you all over again.
Okay, Tina. This is your first time playing, right?
Yeah? Who would I play with? Everyone else I know is dead. What's it called?
Bunkers and Badasses. It's a fantasy game. A place where you can be a hero. Where your imagination can change the world.
Ooh, I'm the best at imagining, baby. I got a whole Wonderland up in me.
That's perfect. But first, we gotta make a character. Tell me about your Fate Maker.
So many do. With a heart full of fire and dreams full of dragons, magic.
He's the coolest, most powerful hero that everyone wants to be friends with. The Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. Hey, this is probably dumb to say, and it's just really cool to play a game with a friend because I haven't really had one.
Well, let's go make some more. Tina, I want to make this an adventure you'll never forget.
It feels like something lost long ago has been found again. It feels like home.
You reach the inner chamber of the Obsidian Hate Cathedral. The Sword of Souls sits before you. Now, this is a big choice. So,
He takes it and he blows up every bad guy everywhere.
are you sure?
Oh yeah, I do it. Boom!
Alright, but that turns your character evil.
What? No, girl, Dragon Knight ain't evil. He's a hero. He's a Fate Maker.
He just blew up thousands of people. Don't you think that's evil?
It's not evil. This is stupid. I'm not playing this anymore. You know what? I'm gonna be the Bunker Master, and then I'll make sure only heroes win.
Tina, wait.
The Fate Maker is alone. Abandoned for a crime he never chose. He's never chosen anything. He begins to think for himself. No more dice or fate. No more masters. I dream of dragons and magic. I awaken, my heart filled with fire and purpose. Resurrection. I am reborn, the Dragon Lord. Do you still believe there's a choice, Fate Maker?
I'd rather find out for myself. Thank you very much.
I hoped you could see the truth. I'm not evil. She just writes me this way. Well, come on then. If you insist on being a hero, there's only one way for this to end.
Only one task remains. Ascend the pyramid, defeat the Dragon Lord, and take back the Sword of Souls. Okay, so that's like 3 1 tasks. But do it!
Take them down, newbie!
You can do this! For you are the Fate Maker!
After defeating the Nightman, the sand in the desert has risen so that we may access new places and new dye. We go into encounter to complete a quest for a man who wants a bottomless bag of sand so that he may have infinite sand to throw at people, which I can respect. What shrine is?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, mate. Now, I'm gonna need a lot of sand. Sand scoop!
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go pick a fight and run away.
This also allows us to enter a dungeon, which is also a random encounter, to get the final red shrine piece. During the encounter I had to fight the Eros Wyvern, which proved to be quite difficult. Only because he's a dirty cheater who constantly regenerates his own health by stealing yours. I mean, what a bullshit mechanic. Who would want to play like that, huh? Flip an Eros Wyvern, we kill it and get our shrine piece.
Ridiculous.
That's the last piece for the Shrine of RNG. You got yourself a shrine piece, baby.
The red shrine from RNG gives us a permanent boost to luck. It's worth mentioning that I also completed the Shrine of Throtus Punches, which gives us 10% higher crit damage, and the Grydana Shrine, which gives us 10% more experience. We find a side quest from a foreboding snake statue and are intrigued by the chaos we may unleash.
A mysterious chest in the oasis. It holds a wonder of the ancient coin, but it's sealed to us by a powerful hex. Find it, if you would break the curse.
Ooh, ominous. I love it. Let's go!
I'm sorry, what do you think ominous means exactly?
Foreboding, threatening, inauspicious?
Inauspicious?
Yeah, inauspicious.
Putting aside my utter shock at the fact that you know that word, this seems like a bad idea.
Probably, but come on. Aren't you curious?
Okay. Yeah, I am. Let's go.
Yes!
We make our way to the Snake Lady capital to open the chest we're not supposed to open. I'm going to let this side quest play without much narration, as it's quite dialogue rich and I'm a fan of The Witcher, and this was one of my favourite side quests of all. I'll inevitably chime in here and there.
Yes, this must be it. I can't wait to see what's inside.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this.
What? You're a robot. You don't have feelings.
Wow, rude, and also false.
Oh, my bad.
Hell yeah, you're bad.
Hear me, outsider. You may look upon the grandeur of our oasis, but touch nothing. You've been warned.
Don't see that every day.
Now you've done it, chest opener. Doomed us all.
Soon! That'll clear the cavities.
What were you thinking, you ignorant cur?
You can't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are?
You likely know of me. I am Garrett of Trivia, hunter of monsters, slayer of demons, kisser of witches. I protect this world for money. And now you have released true evil upon it.
I was really just aiming for some fat loot.
And instead you have released the spirit of Salissa, the evil coiled water goddess. Now her foulness will corrupt the local desert coiled, turning them into bloodthirsty thralls. See, here they come. I'll be back in a second.
In the name of the goddess!
Don't come near me.
We have to clean up your mess before Salissa condemns the coil to perpetual rage and fury. Or worse, decides to drown the entire world. Head to Salissa's eternal wellspring up ahead. You know, there's actually a prophecy about all this. It says the first seal will be broken by a bumbling, foolhardy boob.
That's you, by the way.
I'm getting the sense this guy isn't very nice.
Nope, he is not.
So what's got Cranky Pants pants all cranky anyway?
Some people are just mean.
You die around here?
So, you said you're called Gerard.
Garrett of Trivia? The most famous and prolific monster slayer in all the land. Thousands of abominations dead by my hand. Come on, you've heard of me. Bards sing of my legendary deeds.
What kind of deeds?
I once bedded a woman while mounted atop a unicorn.
That's so stupid. Okay.
It was a stuffed unicorn. I remember. Yennefer is a turtle tsundere. Forget I said that too.
It never happens, honestly.
You, get over here.
Here I stand, in the presence of Salissa's primordial essence. It makes my scales quiver in fear to stand anywhere near it. Although, it is the source of all the water in the oasis, so it would seem some good can come out of even the wickedness of Salissa.
See that? That's what's left of Salissa. Reduced to her pure primordial creative essence. This orb, this prison, provides water to the entire oasis. She was reduced to this state by the first viziers during the torrent of treachery. But by releasing Salissa's spirit, you put not only the oasis, but the entire world at risk. Our only course is to reunite her three shattered aspects, so we can revive her, then slay her.
Wait, why are we trying to put this evil goddess back together if we're trying to stop her? And do we even know if we can kill her afterward?
We have to do this before she recovers the full extent of her power. But I wouldn't expect someone without my level of experience to know that. So go. You have to finish what you started. You'll need the still warm life hearts of Salissa's most ferocious creations, the Sea Wargs. Once you've done that, we'll work toward freeing Salissa's physical form. As for me, I'll be fighting other monsters and gathering reagents for oils and potions and things to prepare for the fight with Salissa. So you're on your own, which means shut up and leave me alone.
Damn, Tino, why'd you make this guy such a jerk face?
Hey, not everybody's sunshine and candy balls, Val. Some people's got issues. He's one of them.
He could be less of a jerk face, though.
Yeah, he could, but he's not gonna.
Watch yourself. The coil here will likely also be hostile because of what you did earlier with the chest, which wouldn't be a problem if you were as good a fighter as I am. Fine. Now, according to the prophecy, you must acquire the battle standards of the Elder Coiled Viziers. For they are the direct blood descendants of the first Viziers, who imprisoned Salissa many years ago. Place the standards so they interrupt the primary ley lines, feeding the Ice Tomb's enchantment. The ice is primed. Now shatter it and free Salissa's physical form. Salissa's form will now begin reconstituting in the throne room. Next, we must free her mind. I have tracked it to the shrine of the goddesses. So go there. Now.
Welcome, traveler, to the shrine of the goddesses.
So, is there like an entry fee, or...?
All are welcome here. Please, follow me. I am the curator of the Shrine of the Goddesses, once known as the Traitor's Prison. Here, the four elemental locks are united in keeping the mind of wicked Salissa imprisoned within her statue.
Right, you wouldn't happen to know how to, stop that, would you?
Surely you jest! Salissa's imprisonment keeps us safe and prosperous. How dare you even joke about such things? Now if you're quite through with your tomfoolery, then please, feel free to tour the facility. I have some work to attend to.
You're in? Finally. The prophecy says your next task is taking a leap of faith into the darkness. Even you couldn't mess that up, right? Congratulations! You didn't mess that up. Although I would have landed more gracefully. Now you must find the elemental crystals, which are the keys to unlock Salissa's mind prison. Obviously. Don't make me repeat myself.
Obviously.
Look, as much as I just adore holding your hand through all of this, I've got beautiful women to sleep with, and jealous husbands to avoid. Just follow the sight and figure it out. One down, 3 to go. What was that, Delilah? Oh, no. It's just some rube who would have doomed the world without my help. Oh, you're right. I am pretty heroic. Oh, according to the prophecy, the fire crystal has gone missing.
You have no idea what doom you herald. It will mean death to the world should you proceed.
Oh, she probably has it.
I will guard the fire crystal with my life.
Whatever, kill her. Huh. Salissa's mind has taken control of that librarian or whatever. That's a shame. See if she's, Salissa now.
You good? Oh. What disgusting body are we in? Regardless, it's absolutely hilarious that you are attempting to bring us back. Love that for us. Anyway, catch us if you can. Better not let this body die. She seems so innocent. But we've got places to be.
Don't let her out of your sight. The prophecy says she must reach the point of ascension.
No. Trapped in my own mind. Salissa controlling my body. Listen to me. You must stop this or else she'll... Please, stop this!
Ugh, that was so annoying. Don't worry, it won't happen again. Onwards and upwards.
Well, let's not think too hard about this one, eh?
I would rather be copulating on a unicorn, if I'm being honest.
Thanks again for your help, idiot mortal. We can feel the locks upon our mind unlatching, which means we're done with this world. See you again soon.
That's a shame. You know, she would have been fine if you hadn't doomed us all. So that one's really on you. See that? Salissa's power is returning. But there is one more task before we can fully resurrect her. We must now focus all her aspects into one, using the legendary weapon, Tide Sorrow, Salissa's Bite.
Bite?
Yes, like a trident, but 2. Try to keep up. Let your magical sight lead the way to the labyrinth of no escape and also endless torment.
I've always wanted to traverse a labyrinth.
The history of the labyrinth is lengthy and impressive. It is said that in order to retrieve the key to enter, you must...
Must what? Must what?
Crappity crap.
What?
Yeah, so, I was playtesting my campaign, and in this part of the quest, I had players shoot the sun to get the labyrinth key, but it just wasn't working because nobody thought to look up, but then I got sleepy and I forgot to replace the task.
Well, what the hell are we supposed to do now?
Hey, baby, it's cool. It's all good. I can think on my feet. Just get to the, the labyrinth of no escape and also endless torment. And stop asking questions.
Can do.
Even the prophecy doesn't know where the ancient keystone is gone. You will have to find it. Well, that was quick. Now, to open the door, you must recite the following exactly. Clatunamius Baradadum Nictorium.
You got it. Clobberanus Barfdun Nictumtum.
That was terrible. You definitely summoned the Guardians within, who will definitely kill you. Nice one. If by some miracle you survive, find the Bident.
So the long-lost keystone was like 10 feet away, and all we had to do was recite some gibberish nonsense words?
Shut up, Valentine. Words have power, you big dumb idiot moron!
Ouch. Yeah, I guess they do.
You survived. I'm actually shocked, but all right. Grab the Bident.
I have waited so long.
Sounds like the ancient demon fiend and queen of Atlantis, the Heartphage.
Frickin' what now?
Oh, you heard me.
I thirst.
Well, I sure as hell see it now. Looks like someone took a wrong turn.
By the way, it's very, very cursed. Pretty sure I mentioned that. Anyway, I'll meet you back at Salissa's Eternal Wellspring. Don't delay. Now that Salissa's 3 aspects have been released, she will begin reconstituting within her primordial essence of creation. Once we bring the Bident to the location of the shattering ritual, it will resurrect her. I guess I'll give you the honor of fighting beside me, but hear me when I say this. Do not get in my way.
I shall melt this down into spell components.
Took you long enough. But at least I had time to drink my potions and oil my blades. Now we head to the rooftop, where the shattering ritual was performed. Are you ready to bear witness to the greatest monster slayer of all time at the top of his game? Me, I mean. Place the Bident into the pedestal and prepare yourself.
Hear me, wicked Salissa. It is I, the undefeated monster slayer, Garrett of Trivia. Hear my name well, for it will be the last thing you hear. I stand ready to prove to the world that even a goddess can bleed.
Wow, you're really as stupid as we'd hoped. Now die, fool!
I am your doom. I am your end. And when you are slain, all...
Better than that, surely! As the evil goddess is once again shattered by our soup's mighty hand, her Bident clanky clangs to the ground. Go on, it's yours now.
Didn't he say it's cursed, though?
Yep, now it's your curse.
Oh, great. Wait, are we really stuck with this cursed Bident thing? I don't like that.
Nah, you can just sell it. That is, if you don't care about keeping Salissa from getting all her big bad powers back and drowning the world or whatever.
Not particularly, no.
Then you do you, baby. Now, descend to the Eternal Wellspring / throne room to meet your adoring public.
Let's hear it for the hero of Sunfang Oasis! Thank you for ridding us of the corrupting influence of Salissa. Many of our sisters will still be in an
I did enjoy hearing of Garrett of Trivia's exploits. After being thanked by the Snake Gang, we make our way to the final stretch to defeat the Dragon Lord. We enter the lair of the Dragon Lord and see a large glowing crystal we feel inclined to smash.
If I've learned anything, it's that a big crystal in the center of a pyramid is important.
We make our dash toward the end, learning more about the Dragon Lord's plight as we continue.
As the crystal shatters, the entire pyramid begins to shake.
Look, I'm no magic rockologist, but I think that means the more crystals we break, the more we screw up the Dragon Lord's plans.
Keep smashing!
This is just a game to you. But when you stand up and stop playing, I'm stuck in this prison. Every time a hero's sword hits my neck, I wake up to a new face just starting their quest. But this is the last time.
We keep smashing crystals in order to release the soul energy from the Dragon Lord. Whatever soul energy is supposed to be.
Together, she stole that off a fan fiction forum on the EchoNet.
This obelisk will summon the champion of the undead legions. Beware his blade, sharpened on the wailing skulls of the damned. They wail like this.
I wandered, afraid. Was anything about me? Me? I began to throw off my armor, dropping my sword on the ground, discarding the character she had forced on me. In time, I even carved away my fear. What was left, I knew was my own. Something no master could change. Control.
Ooh, luck going up.
Looks like someone took a wrong turn.
Outside, the soul storm around the top of the pyramid is stronger than ever. The undead crawl across the parapets of the pyramid like weird, bony cockroaches. The mechanisms of the pyramid shudder and spark. Soul energy is still coming.
Follow the magical cables. They'll lead us to where he stored the soul energy.
After reaching a room with a spooky tank, we go to smash it while listening to Tina twist the Dragon Lord's story.
Energy. Smashing's worked so far. No reason to stop now.
Fools! That device isn't even important.
Whoops, that's not right. Weird. Actually, the Dragon Lord seems terrified of you destroying the device.
Minions! Protect that device at all costs! Wait, how'd you do that? Why do I care about this stupid thing? I think it's an AC unit.
It turns out that tank secretly contained the soul of the Dragon Lord's long-lost love. He wanted to resurrect his darling Bernadette. It was his motivation the whole time! Plot twist!
Whoa! Big reveal!
Bernadette, I will avenge! No! No one! I don't even know a Bernadette! See how she's using me like a puppet?
We meet Bernadette soon. Poor Dragon Lord, parentheses, sad face.
The top of the pyramid!
That seems bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Don't ignore me! So, she has nothing to say to me. It's just you and me down here, Fate Maker. Come on, finish your hero's journey.
I intend to. Step into your grave!
Tina? Introductions?
The pyramid. You see?
Actually, I'll make my own introductions. Thank you very much. Ha! No more games. You wanted to meet Bernadette? And trust them all.
The Dragon Lord has armor, then health, and isn't a particularly hard fight until we meet Bernadette, who can make our dear Dragon Lord invulnerable. After an epic battle with the dragon and its lord, we reign triumphant.
So that's it? She gets it her way? I was trying to save you too. Go ahead. Take it. I thought I could finally decide my own fate, but instead, it's up to you.
The Sword of Souls crackles with power in your hands. It contains limitless potential.
What are we gonna do with it? Fight some gods? Ooh, become some gods!
Or we could forge a new empire. Keep the Wonderlands safe forever.
Fools! We both know the villain has to die. Go on, avenge your queen.
Fate does not divide us! Fate brings us together!
And badasses natural.
You know what? I think we all make a pretty good party of heroes. We should do this again sometime.
How about right now? Cause I got stuff you ain't even seen yet.
We're in!
Roll for initiative, suckers!
You brought her back. I guess nothing is impossible for a Fate Maker. But why spare me?
It would be easy to leave the world divided, to keep ourselves separated, out of fear, out of anger, out of guilt. We could trick ourselves into loneliness and call it safer. But we don't have to. Not even you.
I have felt alone. I thought I'd lost my connection to her when I stopped being her Fate Maker, but I'm still part of her story. Maybe she kept me here for a reason. To meet the heroes. To meet you.
Oh, look who's gone all introspective after getting their arse handed to him. Imagine that.
You know what? I get it. I earned that. But honestly, I'm a little lost right now. I've never survived past the final battle. What do people do when they're not trying to cloak the world in darkness? But Stallion, Your Majesty, I'm sorry I cut your head off and almost caused the end of the world. We cool? Handshake? Or, hoof shake? 200 years in the castle! That's completely fine! Whatever you think is wise, my queen.
Her fine as Hail Majesty says there's to be a great celebration in Brighthoof when you return, newbie. But first, your boss loot awaits.
Look at this place. You've been busy, Tina. This cave is almost cozy.
Oh, this is nothing. I got plans, baby. Gonna be bombs and hot babes everywhere.
Is this a T-set? Mind if I sit down?
No. Do not sit there. It's, that seat is reserved.
Right. Look, Tina, I came by to say I'm sorry. I hope I didn't ruin bunkers and badasses for you.
Oh, that? I already forgot about that. Yeah. Why? Do you want to play?
You know, I can't right now. Being the leader of an army is more work than I thought. But once things are better, yeah, come on, we'll play. I promise.
All right. Well, we're gonna do my campaign. I've been working on something.
I can't wait to see that. You know what? You're gonna make a great bunker master. I know it.
As you have brought together what was once divided, Queen Buttstallion shall now finish what was left undone. You shall be made a Knight of the Realm.
Finally!
It's really happening.
Kneel, Fate.
We're finally made a Knight of the Realm, and originally I don't kneel, but then I felt like I was missing out.
You have been known as Fate Maker, hero of Brighthoof, squire, crew, and seeker of passage. Now, by the power of the adamant throne, arise, Knight of the Realm! Now that you're a proper bloody knight, you'll need some proper bloody kit. Head over to the blacksmith, she'll help you tune your gear just the way you like.
We go and meet the Dragon Lord, where he introduces us to the post-game dungeons, and I'll give my closing story statements and final summary.
Things in mind. See, I'm not the only thing locked in here. Our bunker master, she's more complex than I gave her credit for. For all the chaos of the Wonderlands, she's kept her worst instincts tucked away here. The Chaos Chamber. What I know as soul energy, she knows as wonder and imagination. In the right hands, it can save the world. In the wrong hands, well, I think we covered that during our big Act 3 climax, right? Within this Chaos Chamber are all of the unfair fights and unbalanced loot she's ever dreamed of. I've tried to find out what lies at the center of this creative maelstrom, but DICE don't listen to non-player characters. I can't wield that power anymore. But you can, Fatemaker. Enter the Chaos Chamber. Defeat the worst she has to throw at you. I don't know what's waiting for you inside, but I do know you will only emerge stronger.
I did enjoy the overall story arc, and was intrigued by the relationship between Tina and the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord being my favourite character, I think with the most interesting development through the story, as the story itself wasn't a mystery, yet the antagonist was. I enjoyed his dialogue and his quips, and you could tell he didn't enjoy being the bad guy, he was just playing his role. I liked that he seemed to break the fourth wall of the Dungeon Master's control, leaving you to wonder whether it's truly part of Tina's plan as Game Master or whether she's losing control over her own narrative. I enjoyed the exposition and dialogue from Tina, Fret and Valentine throughout the game. They are an enjoyable cast of characters, yet despite them always having dialogue, I still feel Valentine and Fret lacked presence. As they were characters in the game, and not Dungeon Master, they should have been characters in the story, reflecting their personality. Valentine is someone who helps you as he wants a hero's journey, and Fred is someone who stabs you in the back and you end up killing his character. Such easy implementations to make the game more visceral and effective. Yet we're stuck with Flipping Talk and the Punch Father, who are just the worst. Worse than Jar. The exposition about Tina and a reason for being a controlling, lonely dungeon master who has control issues stemming from her own hubris was a little bit underwhelming, but I guess it's a fair explanation for the origin of the Dragon Lord. The climax at the end of the story was sweet, but lacked depth for what I feel was set up from the characters. Alas, I did enjoy the journey I took through the main story. The note taker also turns out to be Roland, a playable character in the first Borderlands and an NPC who, spoiler alert, dies in the second Borderlands. Roland kept Tina company and was like a father figure to her, and I think the game implies that he's now dead during the Wonderlands timeline, hence Tina being stuck in her ways and yet why she is always so lonely. However, the main story is probably the only thing worth your time in this game. Most extracurricular activities boil down to encounters and a lot of side quests that are just longer encounters, except for the rare treat like Geralt Trivia. The main story as an estimation, taking into account varying playing abilities, would only take you between 7 to 15 hours to complete. I did enjoy the game, but I found that I was focusing more on what the game failed to deliver, which is more diversity. Not only that, but if you're going to make a spin-off in a fantasy world, take more risks. The game is just Borderlands with a reimagined Dungeons and Dragons campaign as a skin. I know the game is inspired by the Assault on Dragon Keep, yet still it's ultimately just a lackluster Borderlands game with a better story than 3 but far more repetitive gameplay with less incentive to return. I did enjoy the slight change in character classes and progression, but it was still just Borderlands. I live in Australia, and this game digitally cost me $110, which is disgraceful. If your spin-off is half the game, then charge half the price. I'd say overall the game would be a 7 out of 10 when it's in a bargain bin, yet at full price it can get wrecked. With that out of the way, I'll take a moment to talk about the post-game dungeon system. The Chaos Chamber consists of randomly generated dungeons, enemies, and bosses. Each stage you clear, you have a choice to make it slightly harder or a lot harder. Choosing to make it a lot harder ends up with you receiving more crystals and better loot. At the end of the Chaos Chamber, you can trade in crystals for legendary gear, so the more you acquire, the better. That about sums it up. Whether you like or subscribe, I'm so very thankful for your time. I appreciate creating this content for others to enjoy. Thanks for watching, and take care.